So what's going on, guys? The Truck Guy here. Today we're unboxing and reviewing the IRWIN FK250. And guys, it has been a little bit since I've been at you with the review, and you're probably wondering, what the heck? We're coming to the Truck Guy channel and we're seeing IRWIN. It's not Stanley, it's not Milwaukee, it's not Husky, it's not even DeWalt, and we're not even nice to DeWalt, guys. But we're going to throw IRWIN into the mix and see what they bring to the table. See if they bring quality to the table. And guys, I've been getting, a little bit of pushback about saying, guys, you say I say it too much. You say you don't like the term. So I will try to say it less. But we have fun on this channel. And, we throw some things out. We throw ideas out. And, at the end of the day, we're all in it together. We're all about the utility knives and tackling those jobs around the house and yard. But let's jump into the video and let's do it. Alright guys, so the IRWIN FK250, what do we know about IRWIN? You see it out there, you see the utility knife blades, the blue IRWIN blades. The FK250, the reason I picked this up on Amazon, guys, is it just looked interesting. It was $15.99, so it is going to set you back a little bit. But it's got some cool features. It's got, blade storage. It's got the fold-out screwdriver and additional bit storage. So that immediately made me think of the Milwaukee 6-in-1. And, I got excited about that. As I mentioned, or maybe I didn't mention it, the lifetime guarantee. So do I think this is going to hold up for a lifetime? I'm not so certain, guys. But IRWIN is guaranteeing it for the $15.99 knife. We've got the blade in here on back. One of the really interesting features on this is you actually have to turn the knife to a 45-degree angle to use the quick change. So I found that to be really odd. But, we'll go ahead and check it out. And then it's got the number 2 Phillips and the number 2 square bit. So that's kind of interesting to go with square instead of flathead. So let me know what you think about that in the comments below. But let's go ahead and get it out of the packaging and see what we think. So we'll get the IRWIN out of the packaging and see if we can get the blade out here. I found it fairly odd and a little bit dangerous to put the blade up here. Inevitably, guys, it's going to be tough to get these blades out of the packaging, and it also wasn't wrapped up at all. I've seen Stanley do that a lot, where they wrap it up. I mean, I think that's just good practice, so, I'm not sure what IRWIN was thinking with this packaging, but let's go ahead and set the packaging aside and see what we think. So we won't throw the blade in quite yet. We'll throw it up there, get it fully extended. And it actually doesn't feel bad in the hand. It's a little on the small side, a little bit on the heavier side actually. So it's got some weight to it. It doesn't feel bad in the hand. So I'm liking that. Let's check out the quick change and see what we think. So kind of the really odd thing, guys, is you can't actually use the quick change when it's in that fully extended position. You need to go ahead and use the liner lock, which seems like I would say a solid, not great liner lock. Not much movement, but again, I don't know if I'd totally trust this small liner lock coming over for a pretty decent size, front of the knife on there. I mean, if you're really working some tough jobs, the metal feels of decent quality, but again, it just, it's not the strongest liner lock I've ever seen. So what you want to do is go down to a 45-degree angle, and there is some indication once you hit that you're at the 45-degree angle. Then you can take your IRWIN blade, depress that button, and pop in. Well, let's see if we can get it here, guys. Pop in your blade. So now you've got your blade locked and loaded, so you can either go back to full extension, or you can close your blade. And it doesn't lock down, which, you know, again, it wouldn't with this type of knife because there's not a button lock on this knife to throw it open, but there's no indication or full indication that it is locked down or nothing to hold it locked. So not my favorite feature there. I'd prefer, you know, a tighter snap or something to hold it down. It can fairly easily fly open. Probably not going to happen in your pocket, but just something to think about if you're thinking about this knife. But it's got the ridge on here, so, you know, or the thumb stud, so you can pretty easily open this one hand open. And when I've got the blade in there, overall it feels good. It feels substantial, but it feels a little bit on the cheap side, and I think it might just be kind of some of the squared off angles. It just feels like, you know, really more of a basic utility knife. I'm not sure this metal's going to hold up that well over time. So that's kind of one of the detractors I see with this knife, is it just the angles, you know, the way it looks, you know, is it going to hold up? You know, I don't know. It just feels like, you know, really kind of a little bit lower quality than a Stanley or a Milwaukee. You know, it feels like just kind of your run-of-the-mill utility knife. You know, nothing fancy. You know, nothing crazy. The metal is what it is. But let's go ahead and get it closed. And kind of one of the cool features about this knife, guys, is it's got the screwdriver on the back, or the bit holder on the back. So, you know, it's actually a pretty small mechanism that flies open there, and then you've got your standard bit. So, you know, it is magnetic, so it seems like it holds in there well. And, you know, I would say overall that's going to do a pretty good job of, you know, being able to use this in a pinch if you're doing electrical or something else, you know, having a screwdriver on you. And then if you move this tab to the side, you can actually open up your bit storage here. So it comes with a square bit, which I thought was kind of odd because, you know, it's not that I don't use square bits, you know, if I'm doing deck board, something of that nature, but it's not going to be my go-to. I'd much rather have a flathead, which, of course, you could just pop in a flathead here, but, you know, if you're doing electrical, something around the house, you know, installing fixtures, things like that, I'd much rather have flathead. But I also, you know, Phillips is good, so it's good that they at least provide Phillips. But guys, let me know if you have any idea what IRWIN was thinking by throwing in that square bit, because I thought that was a little odd. But there's no locking mechanism on this, so it's just a bit holder that you throw open and close. Overall, good design by IRWIN. I like the use of, you know, this compartment for an extra bit. I think that's cool. And then, in terms of blade storage, guys, I'm trying to get an idea of where that blade storage is at. Oh, and I guess it's just right up here next to the bits. You can get 2 extra blades in there, and IRWIN is hooking us up with 2 extra blades. So it looks like you actually have to throw open your bit holder there to get out the extra blades. So I think that's pretty cool by IRWIN to give us room for 2 extra blades, and they fit in there pretty nicely. Let's see if we can get them back down. So yeah, actually they fit in pretty well. It seemed like they were down there a little better to start, but yeah, I think that's a cool design by IRWIN, and you know, I'm not gonna knock them for that. I think kind of really the oddest thing about this knife is the 45-degree angle. You know, to unlock and use that quick change. Why do they have it? I guess, you know, it's possible if you're working some really tough jobs and you've got your thumb on the quick change button, yes, this might fly out. But I don't get, you know, exactly why it's so much safer to be changing at a 45-degree angle. I almost feel like it's a little bit more risky because you've got the knife in a position where it can slide side to side. It's wobbling. You know, if you push it in too hard, maybe that, you know, moves over, hits your finger. I'd rather have it in that locked position so everything's locked and in place, and then you do your quick change. So, you know, I think it's kind of a gimmick by IRWIN. I mean, they're trying to get into the market like everyone else for utility knives and put something out there that's fun, that's interesting, that people see 45 degrees, they think safety feature, you know, and all of a sudden they're giving IRWIN props. But I think once you get this knife in hand, you'll see the 45 degrees is really, you know, it's just a gimmick. It's just something to catch your attention, differentiate IRWIN from other knives. But I don't want to end this video without knocking IRWIN on their utility knife blades, because what is this all about, guys? The IRWIN blades, the blue, I don't get it. Why are they painting these utility knife blades? I mean, an inscription is one thing, like on the back, it says IRWIN, but, you know, you guys may call me a utility knife snob, but I like the Milwaukee 6-in-1, the 1505. And guys, when you throw an IRWIN blade in a Milwaukee knife, how dumb does that look, guys? You don't want to compromise the look of a utility knife. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter because we're using these to knock out jobs. But that IRWIN blade, it just doesn't sit well with me in a Milwaukee knife. IRWIN, that works. But IRWIN Milwaukee, IRWIN Stanley, you're going to hit some major clashes. And, you know, I don't like to see IRWIN blades and that blue paint in other brands. So it may be a pet peeve, guys, but it's what we're all about. I mean, we take our utility knives seriously, and we get offended when we see those IRWIN blades in other things. So guys, that is IRWIN. It's a good knife. I would consider picking up the FK250, but is it, you know, the best knife I've ever seen? No. Is it the highest quality metal? No. It's just a knife, and it's got the bit holder. Do I prefer the 1505? I think at the end of the day I do. I just like the look and feel of Milwaukee a little bit better. I think it's a little bit more high quality knife. But you're not going to go wrong with the FK250, 16 bucks, you know. Are you going to be happy? Are you going to be upset? I don't know. I can't tell you that. But look and feel in the hand, I don't like the IRWIN as much. I prefer Milwaukee. But guys, check out the IRWIN and see if it's the knife for you. So that's it. Please like, please subscribe, and as always, we'll talk to you on the next video.